Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I want to thank everyone that's left a comment on the channel because that's what we're going to talk about today, something that someone left in the comments, and that is covered calls. What are covered calls? How do they help my portfolio, and is this a good time to use them? Well, let's get into it. Quick disclaimer, if you already know what a call option and a covered call is, go ahead and skip to the time right here, that way you don't have to listen to all of this information. I do want to explain it for the people on the channel that are new to call options and covered calls, but if you already know the information, go ahead and skip to that time. So first off, what is a covered call? Well, it's just selling a call option on the stocks you already own. Even more basic than that though, what is a call option? Well, a call option is giving a buyer of that option the right to buy your shares at a specific price within a certain period of time. So for example, if I buy a call option, then I have the right to buy that stock at a specific price at a specific time period. So let's put some numbers to it. I want to buy a call option for Apple. Apple is currently selling for $100 a share. So therefore I buy a call option because I think it's probably going to go up. And I think it's going to go to about $110 a share. So I buy a call option that has a strike price of $105, which means at that price is when I am able to exercise the option. And I'm going to set a time period of that for 1 week. So I think Apple stock is going to go up from $100 to $110 within 1 week. But I want to have my strike price, which is where I can exercise my option to buy the shares, at $105. And all of this has to happen within 1 week of when I'm buying this contract. So as the seller of that contract, I'm not going to let that just happen for free. I don't want someone to have the right to buy my shares without them, putting any skin in the game. So I'm going to charge a $10 premium on them being able to buy this contract for me. So whenever someone goes to buy my share of Apple for $105 and they're going to have this whole week to be able to do that, I'm going to make it so it actually costs $110 for that specific share. That way they don't just exercise the option for no real reason. So now that we know both sides of a call option, let's talk about the covered call. So I have 100 shares of a specific stock. I want to give someone else the opportunity to buy those shares, but I want them to pay me the premium. So I want to be the seller of that contract. Well, that's what a covered call does. So I have 100 shares. I want to give someone the right to buy them from me, and I'm going to charge them that premium so they have, a specific amount of money that they're putting aside in order to get this right. So we want to use this in very specific circumstances in order to make sure that we're not losing our shares right away. If we think the stock's going to go up a lot this next week or however long the expiration time is, we don't want to be getting into these contracts, but a little bit more on that later. Okay, so now we know about covered calls and call options. When is it best to add this strategy into our portfolio? Well, I don't think there's a better time than the present. We have a lot of downward pressure on the stock market currently, and I don't want to recommend put options. I just think they're a little bit too dangerous and too risky for at least my taste. But I think if we go ahead with this covered call play, I really think we can make a difference in our portfolios because we're going to be achieving this premium week in and week out on getting these covered call premiums. That's going to really help our portfolio to not lose as much money as the rest of the market is. Yeah, some people might say, well, that's only a little bit, but each little bit helps to make sure that your portfolio beats the S&P 500, which is how I benchmark my portfolio. So I guess the main strategy I want to convey is try to do these covered calls weekly. You don't want to necessarily go a long time out because who knows, things could change in the market. But if we continue to do weekly covered calls, I think we're going to continue to get the premium and our stocks are going to go down a little bit, especially in a market like this. So I think it's a good opportunity to try and recoup some of those losses. Obviously, you should only invest in what you think is the best way to do it yourself. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research and make sure you're making the right place for you. And the last part of this whole video is, can this really help my portfolio? As I said before, some of you might be thinking, oh, this is just a little part of my portfolio. But actually, this is going to make a really big difference. If we continue to do these weekly call options on a stock such as, let's say, Snapchat, it doesn't have a very high per share amount. So let's just say we're going to buy 100 shares. It's going to be between $800 and $1,200, depending on exactly how much it is at the current price point. But let's just go with 1,000 just to be in the middle. So if we do a weekly covered call on Snapchat, we're going to see that the premiums are hovering somewhere around, I don't know, 25 to $7 per week. So it just depends on what your risk tolerance is and how much you think the market's going to get down, and if you are really worried about losing your shares or not. So we'll look at that and we'll see that if we do that for 4 weeks in a row, even at the $7 per covered call, we're still going to get $28 in 1 month. Well, yeah, for our small investment, that's not bad. If we have $28 and we do that for 12 months in a row, that's really going to help our portfolio and keep us from losing a lot of money on a stock just like Snapchat. So we want to try to look for stocks like that where we can really take advantage of where the market's going down and they have a nice premium on those covered calls. Well, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you like this content, go ahead and hit the like button, and please make sure you're subscribing if you're watching this. It really helps out the channel. Make sure you leave a comment below of any questions you have on this. I'm happy to answer any or explain anything that didn't come through clearly, or just any other topics that you guys want to hear more about. This was a great example of someone on the channel reaching out to me, wanting to know more about a topic and me providing it. So I really want to do this in the future. Please continue to do that. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one.